In what ways does your media product use, develop or challenge forms and conventions of real media products? We took our main inspiration from Rolling Stones.
Yeah, we wanted to use the similar like bold fonts and mainly a plain background because we thought it really made the picture stand out and it made it look really, really good.
And we took our like colour scheme from like magazines like Rolling Stones, like the red, the black and the white, which we used on all the clothes, the text and everything, and it created like a house style for our personal magazines.
Also, with our photo compositions, we used mainly mid shots and full length shots, and we saved the mid shots for the front cover, and we kind of differed between the two. We balanced it out when it came to the double page spread.
We aimed our magazine at a younger audience, so we said roughly age 16 to
about 20.
About 20, so.
And like that's quite different because there aren't really many of those magazines out there, so that's why we chose to aim at that audience.
Yeah, and from other magazines we decided that we wanted bold mastheads and like barcodes and writing and stuff like that because we felt that that's what drew our attention most to the magazines and we wanted to involve that in ours.
Yeah, and we used quite a lot of online inspiration as well, as like looking at actual
Other
like magazines that we
yeah.
bought. We looked at kind of online magazines and some of the images that we could find online.
And also, when it came to pictures, we wanted to use one picture per page, especially when it came to the front cover and the double page spread. We didn't want to add too much to the front cover to crowd it in a way. We wanted it to be very plain, simple and clear, so we used one photo.
Yeah, it was the same with the double page spread, wasn't it? We wanted just a big picture and that to be the only thing on the page so they knew exactly what the article was about.
Yeah, and it just made it stand out a little bit more than if it was sort of crammed, and you know, if we tried to put too many photos on one page it wouldn't be as appealing to the audience, if it wouldn't look as clean.
We put smaller ones in the
content page.
But obviously that's what that was
kind of to show what was in the magazine,
exactly,
so you had more pictures.
Yeah, and they're smaller, so obviously you've got more space.
We wanted not just writing.
How does your media product represent particular social groups?
Originally I think we were going to go with the classic rock genre, but then we realised if we wanted to go for teenagers we wanted it to be a bit more cool and calm rather than really, you know, rocky
and like hectic and like kind of
stereotypical.
Yeah.
We wanted it to be a bit less than that, so it would relate to teenagers rather than, because classic rock is sometimes seen as for older generations, not teenagers, so we wanted it to be a bit calmer.
But we wanted to make sure that we still got the representation of rock across, and we did that kind of thing, like the text we used and like the colours and the clothes and everything like that, because on the shelf it still needed to look like a rock magazine, but we just weren't doing it in the typical obvious way.
We obviously kept one image Rocky, didn't we?
Yeah, Lucy.
On my magazine Will was swearing.
So it almost still made sure that we were
it
keeping
looks
to the
like
genre
it was
of rock,
rock,
but we weren't.
They still looked like a rock band,
Yeah.
and it was still that was quite stereotypical of rock compared to perhaps, say, like your cover, which was perhaps a little bit more kind of cool and that sort of
kind of more indie.
Yeah, definitely.
We didn't want to set a bad example for teenagers, so we wanted it to get rid of sexual and violence, which is obviously related to rock.
To be more clean. Really.
And we said we sort of chose this genre because there was like a gap in the market for this genre of kind of rock which related to teenagers, and therefore if we kept it really classic and hardcore rock, then it would just be the same as all the other ones, whereas this one's different and it would stand out a bit more.
What kind of media institution might distribute your media product and why?
We were thinking mainly, we want it to be very available for teenagers, so places like newsagents and just supermarkets, which are probably visited by students, you know, before they go to college or school and afterwards. You know, they're used a lot, so it would kind of be, it'd be there and it'll be available. People would know it's there because it's very
it's suitable to be on like the shelves and everything, because obviously, as we said, it's not offensive or anything, like some rock magazines, so it's kind of suitable to be broadly available.
Yeah, I think we'd also use social networking sites to get the word out.
Yes,
Obviously, we know all teenagers use like Facebook and Twitter, and so I think that would be a great place to get the word out about the magazine, either to buy it off there or to get advertise and know where to buy it from.
Article, you know,
and like again, it's like through word of mouth, because obviously, you know, when one person reads the magazine, they can pass it on to their friend, and they can like just keep it cycle going.
We obviously thought of festival and gigs, because you know that's where most teenagers like to hang out,
and we could
it would just be if we went to say a specific rock one, it's obviously we've got the genre and the age group all in one.
Yeah, all in one, yeah.
Yeah, and we can distribute it sort of like maybe some colleges and like youth centres, like kind of free samples of the magazine, because people aren't going to want to necessarily buy the new magazine if they don't really know what it's in it. So if we kind of put like a free like preliminary sample out, they could read it and then they could say, actually, I would be willing to pay for this magazine.
Yeah, try before you buy.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Who would be the audience for your media product?
Well, we've already established that like our target audience is kind of teenagers, like 16 to 20 kind of years old. You know, they're quite an influential age, so we can kind of educate them as well through our magazine. And there's a gap in the market for a rock magazine aimed at this kind of age audience.
And we think the models really suit the age, because obviously they are that age, and also the way we've written the articles, it really appeals to
it's quite young and fresh as well as being a rock magazine, so it's something they'd be interested in.
We maybe want to make it a bit educational in a way, to you know, not just make it a rock magazine, make it something that, you know, for maybe up and coming artists to see
a platform
to see how to get into the industry, you know.
And that would suit teenagers.
Exactly, teenagers would want that, definitely.
And we obviously want it to be quite a cheap price, because obviously teenagers don't have a lot of money, they're not going to want to spend their money on magazines and things like that, so we need it to be a price that they can afford to buy often and like keep buying the magazine.
Yeah, and that's why I put in the for the chance to win a holiday with another friend, because obviously university fees have just gone up, you know, everything's going up in price, so especially students are not going to be able to afford certain things that they used to be able to. So, and it would also just draw more people in. I mean, things like that would draw people in.
So you put that on your front cover,
and we want it to be a media platform for the younger generation.
Yeah. Okay. How do you attract/address your audience?
I think we attracted them with the clothes they were wearing, the types of bands that were featured in the magazine.
And where it was sold as well, it needed to be accessible for our target audience to attract them so they would be able to see it, so they could then buy it.
Obviously, this use of social networking to promote our magazine.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously all teenagers use social networking sites, and to be able to promote it on that, I think it would get the word around a lot faster, and it would attract
just word
them.
of mouth,
because obviously it would be really easy to see.
Yeah, and I think when we all finished our magazines and contents page and double page spread, we went round a couple of people and asked them what they thought of it and whether they would buy it or not, and we got a few people's opinions, so that was quite helpful.
I do, yes. I think because you can see the different kind of, like, the different genres of each band through their sort of photos.
Yes, definitely. Very much so. Like the use of the instruments there. And the whole clothing. Yeah, like the dark colours and stuff that you're wearing.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
I think it is because of the colours and like the clothing on there, like the denim jacket and everything like that. I think it is.
I think they do, yes, because the title is very bold and it really catches your eye with the different effects that it puts forward, and you can kind of also get a feeling of what the genre of the magazine is by the covers as well.
Yes, I do, because the colours are like, it's like very bold and like the fonts and stuff.
I think it will. Yeah, it's really bold, bright, bold, stands out, yeah. It's quite different looking as well.
Yeah, I do, because it's got like the bright, bold writers, which is fun, and the pictures. Pictures are always good in the magazine.
I do, yeah. I love the font for the title. It's very edgy. That's what I like the best about it. Yeah.
Would you change anything at all?
No, I don't think so. I generally they've got a good feel for it all, and no, I don't think I would change anything.
What about, is there too much space on the page? Do you think we need to fill it or not?
No, I think also on some of the areas maybe, because like some here, like the black on the black is a bit like, maybe you could bring that forward, maybe a border around the writing.
Very much so.
I think I would, yeah. I think it'd be interesting to read, see what you have to say.
Definitely.
Maybe, depending on what mood I was in, because I'm more like R&B than I am rock. But if I was rock, I'd definitely